this week? I know we're coming up against Bryce, but how do you treat the week any differently?
It's to be honest, it's actually good to be home. We've been on the road for 2-ish weeks, so it's nice to actually get some practices in and kind of build up a system. So yeah, nice being home.
Do you chat to him at all this week?
No, I'm not going to send him a message or anything. Look, I think it's quite public how I feel about Bryce. I think he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal human being. Just because he's on a different team doesn't change that. But at the end of the day, we've got a game to win as well. So he's competitive, we're competitive. It should be a good game.
What do you think of the Adelaide 36ers so far this season?
I think the record kind of speaks for itself. Incredibly talented. They play really well at home. Well coached. As I said, the talent there is extreme. They've got guys playing their role really well. So it's certainly going to be a tough battle.
Do you expect Bryce to play with extra verve against you guys compared to any other normal game?
Look, I'm not sure. I think it's probably a question for him, but he's certainly a competitive individual. You don't get to his level of what he's achieved without having a competitive drive and an individual competitive drive and a bit of pride about your performance. So he kind of always goes about his business the same way, and that's professional and it's competitive, and I expect no different.
Do you look at the way you've seen him train every single day for a decade ago? There's things that you can cultivate with the future going on to him, or someone more inexperienced going on to him who hasn't necessarily had the knowledge and the vision that you've had?
I'll look a little bit. I think this league is very well scouted, but at the end of the day, there's some very good basketball players in it. So I think you've got to go in and you've kind of got to play the percentages, but at the same time you've got to recognise that good players are going to make very good plays, and he's going to score some. He's going to make some very tough baskets, but you kind of live with it and you go down and you try to execute your system down that end and then turn around and do the same again. So look, as I said, it's well scouted, but it's not as if I've got any additional insight that I've gleaned over the years. As I said, it's well scouted and our resources are very good in terms of that.
How much time do you spend on just him?
Look, he's a big part of the team, but you look at their roster and we just mentioned it, right? They're extremely talented all around the board. So he's, like when he was here, he was a big part of what we were doing here, and he's a big part of what they're doing there. So certainly a part, but at the end of the day, they've got a very, very good talent level around him as well. So it's certainly not the be all end all.
Do you notice any difference, specific difference with him this year? You always better every year he adds something with Bo. Like we noticed that you've gone, I don't have to worry about that now as well.
To be honest, it's early on in the week and I have watched very little film on them. So, I tend to do my, we've obviously done some team scout and things like that, but in terms of individual scout, I kind of get that done later on in the week. So, watch some games of them later on. So, I haven't, to be honest, and I don't really watch the other games anyway, so I try to get away from it. So, that'll come later on in the week.
How's David fitting in? Does he even understand the Bryce mania?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't asked him. No, look, he's been really great. He's high-level dude. You can tell by the way he moves and the way he goes after it, the quality of him as a player and as a person. So he's fitted in real well.
He's got one of the nose, an eye, a nose, and a throat. How's the head feeling?
I'll say I'm a sniper's dream, just the size of this noggin. Look, yeah, it kind of comes with the territory. They don't normally come within 4 weeks of each other, but from my shoulders up has certainly copped a battering in the last couple of weeks, but that's all right, it's part and parcel.
Shoulders up used to be a joke. You can hit me anywhere as long as it's shouldered up. These days, shoulders up is a bit different. When we talk about concussion and head knock, have you felt any sort of ramifications at all?
No. Look, our medical staff and the medical staff around, you mentioned it, it's very kind of in topic right now, and they're all on top of it. And if anything, it's arguably gone the other way, right? Like it's another topic for discussion, but it's very cautious approach. But I think some of my injuries in the last weeks have just kind of been the freak ones. It just so happens they've happened back to back to back. But yeah, no side effects or anything like that. Otherwise, the medical staff's very quick to act.
Who got you?
It was Dookie. Dookie just with an elbow. But, just in the schnoz. So all good.
Nice.
No, well, I hope it wasn't intentional. I assume it wasn't intentional. Yeah. All good. Thanks, guys.